Food is such a diverse topic to cover. I'd argue it's yet another spectrum that everyone seems to be talking about nowadays. But at the most basic end of the spectrum are kids' meals, or more specifically, American kids' meals. I can't speak for everybody outside of the US. I mean, have you seen Asian school lunches? Compared to the American tongue palate, they look like exquisite five-star chef meals. Well, that was a tongue twister. This is because American kids' meals have a basic charm to them. I'm not saying they're bad, just basic. Let me give you some examples. Mac and cheese. As Gordon Ramsay puts it, the name is the recipe. Kind of. Macaroni pasta with milk, butter, and cheese sauce. Simple, easy, and good enough for most children all over America. I certainly was not most kids, because even as a child I would try to renovate this dish. And I don't mean by just adding sausages to your mac and cheese and calling it a day. No. I was making mac and 11 cheeses with protein and veggies. I'm talking about adding bacon, cilantro, onions, and spinach. And for the 11 cheeses, well... cheddar, Colby, Parmesan, Parmesan, mozzarella, Munster, cotija, Oaxaca, Swiss, Gouda, and provolone. And I would eat that as a whole-ass meal, though I've met plenty of black people who would argue that it's a side dish rather than a meal. But when you're a kid, especially when you're poor, you don't care. All you care about is that, does it taste good and will it satisfy me? And while basic mac and cheese does satisfy me enough, I will always go for my enhanced recipe. Chicken nuggies. I'm gonna be honest, the only chicken nuggets I remotely like are the ones from McDonald's. I was never a big fan of the Dino Nuggets. I really tried liking them, but they ain't for me. But American kids seem to love them because every time I go to Costco, I always see a parent of some kind trying to place them right next to the Kirkland wine and vitamins. Personal pizzas. These are either pepperoni or plain cheese in America. You will never, ever see a supreme personal pizza because these are targeted towards American kids, and most American children, for some reason, don't like veggies. I was not one of those kids. I love adding vegetables to my pizza, specifically spinach and green bell peppers. Olives are fine, I guess. I don't mind them, but I wouldn't go out of my way to add them to my pizza. Mushrooms, on the other hand? Oh yeah, that's good. I love me some mushrooms on my pizza. Y'all remember the Pizza Hut Book It program? I remember that I would cash these things at least once a month. Especially since my sister didn't like Pizza Hut, so I'd cash her rewards as my own. Speaking of Pizza Hut, I've noticed that every Target nowadays seems to have Pizza Hut and Starbucks, which confuses me because back when I was a child, well, you could see the pizzas being made because it was a built-in Pizza Hut. But now they have a Starbucks instead, which makes me wonder, where are they making these pizzas? Cheeseburger plain. Okay, so this is where I would agree with most American children because I don't really like that much stuff on my burgers. Sure, I love adding grilled onions, spinach, mayo, ketchup, and occasionally mustard on my own burgers, but I don't like it when other chains do it. They tend to go overboard. Seriously, why do they add so much sauce to the burger? It makes it all wet and messy. If I'm going to a fast food chain like McDonald's or Burger King, I'm always getting a plain burger. Well, there are 2 exceptions to that rule, but I'm gatekeeping those restaurants to myself. Mozzarella sticks. Okay, so these are more appetizers, but I guess kids have small stomachs that it could be considered a meal to them. They're pretty good, but it's kind of hit or miss for me. When they're store-bought, I don't like them. But when they're served at a restaurant, they just seem to hit different for some reason. Probably because they're made fresh. Maybe. I don't know. I feel like you can add cheese to anything and it instantly becomes a kid's meal. Mac and cheese, cheeseburger, cheese pizza, mozzarella sticks, etc. Fruit salads. A kid's meal for the vegans and vegetarians. I think. I don't think children care what's on their plates as long as it looks and tastes good. And with that said, I have never seen a vegan or vegetarian child. All the vegans and vegetarians that I've seen or known were all teens or adults. Anywho, whenever I see this dish, it usually contains grape, pineapple, cantaloupe, honeydew lemon slices, and occasionally watermelon. Surprisingly, strawberries aren't usually on the fruit salads, or at least the ones that I've seen served in restaurants that I've been to. With that said, you can have whatever fruit you want and call it a fruit salad. Though if I'm being honest, I would much rather prefer drinking a fruit smoothie over a fruit salad. But that's just me. Grilled cheese. This dish is arguably the simplest kids meal ever. It's just 2 pieces of bread with cheese in the middle. And I've seen people getting lazy with this quote-unquote dish. I've seen people just put 2 pieces of white bread with American cheese in the middle and putting it in the microwave for 30 seconds. Is that even considered grilled cheese anymore, considering that it's not grilled? Honestly, it's kind of an abomination of a meal. The bread's all soggy and moist, and the cheese, while perfectly melted, just ends up tasting weird. If you're gonna make this quote-unquote dish, don't butcher it in the microwave. Just look up some basic recipes online. It's not that hard. Honestly, I mentioned grilled cheese at the last second because I just wanted to rant about that microwave abomination. And those are all the American kids' meals I could think of at the top of my head. There's probably more, but I ain't gonna go out of my way to look for them. If I did leave a certain kid's meal out, then let me know in the comments. Now, if you excuse me, I gotta run now. Adios!